All right. Assalamu alaikum. Glad we got some people already tuned in. Inshallah, the brother Akil is going to be joining us shortly. So just hold tight. He told me that he's got a he got caught up in a little bit of traffic. So he's going to be joining us shortly. So he told me to go on ahead and start, and he'll join in. So glad you guys are here. Just hold tight as we get started, inshallah. In the meantime, please don't forget to like the video. All those who come in and are watching live, don't forget to like the video. Okay. Also, those of you who watch the video later, make sure you also add a like to it now. But for those right now who are watching live, like the video now, so that way we can get the numbers up. You know what I mean, and get more people aware that the show has started. Don't forget to share it on your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, and whatever other social media you're using, so we can get the word out there, inshallah. All right. So we're going to be starting shortly. Hold tight. Hold tight, inshallah, as we get started. Right. In the meantime, don't forget to join our Patreon. Don't forget, like the video, right? Don't forget to like the video. All right, don't forget to like the video. Join our Patreon page. If you like to make a donation, you can utilize these links here that I'm about to share with you. All right. You could also join our Patreon page. For that, we're still looking for 3 more people, inshallah. We're looking for 3 more people. We had 7. All right. If you're interested in supporting your brother, here's where you can join the Patreon right there. At the moment. So as I said, the brother will be joining us shortly via Zoom. He's going to be coming in through on Zoom. So inshallah, we'll have him on shortly. Hopefully I'm using this thing right. Hopefully we're using this right, so when he joins in, this will get started. All right. So, like I said, we're just waiting for him to join in. Let me send out another tweet. We get the numbers up. Numbers are looking good already. Alhamdulillah. That's good. Let me just send out another tweet though. Another tweet. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. So there you got it, guys. You got the links to join in to join the Patreon page or to make a donation on our Streamlabs. Today's topic, me and the brother are going to be discussing. We're going to talk a little bit about, his issue with what's going on between him and David Wood. We're going to discuss something that me and him both have something in common, which is that we both have agreed. We agree that what's happening with David Wood and others in that crowd who are attacking Islam, it's moved into what is clearly a display of bigotry, right? It's clearly a display of bigotry. So we're going to be discussing that. So we're going to get some background on the issue, how the issue between him and David Wood started. We'll address that, and we're going to talk about this display of bigotry that's been coming from David and others like him, and to expose that it's not really, as they claim, just criticism of Islam or, theological disagreement, that, as I've said on many of my shows, that it's really bigotry. You know what I mean? They are, coming at us with bigotry rather than just, religious disagreement or so-called criticism of Islam. Well, Alaikum Salam, Sammy 101. The background noise that may be that's probably the fan, on the processor on my laptop. So he'll be joining me shortly. Hopefully everything's connected good. Like I said, I got my Zoom. Where's my Zoom? I got the Zoom going. Let's see here. Alright. So we're just waiting on the brother. Yeah, Ramadan Mubarak, everybody. In the last 10 days. So don't forget to take advantage of that, of utilizing the benefits of the last 10 days. Definitely want to do that. The Islamicize Me series. That's the series that they made, right? With him and the other guys. They were like kind of making like a little mockery. That's that series, right? That they made a while back. Yeah. I don't know. That's something that I have to think about, because when I looked at it before, at first I thought about doing it, but then when I started looking at some of the videos, it was like, they were acting like kids. You know what I mean? They were like a bunch of immature kids. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, should we really even take it seriously and give it the time of day? Because it wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was like an academic series. It was them, doing little skits and acting like jackasses. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff, you don't really want to take it. You know what I mean? You don't want to really give that stuff credibility, because it wasn't even done in an academic, professional manner. It was done like, you know, like a bunch of silly kids on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Even I think what's his name? Even James White had to condemn them and call them out on that series. It was just so immature, man, and silly that, you know, they had done it where they were actually presenting some kind of like, you know, some arguments. You know what I'm saying? Then perhaps. You said there's already a brother who refuted this series. Okay, yeah. Inshallah, then let's check that out. What's his name? What's the brother's name who did the refutation? Yeah, it was really immature, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really like they were like a bunch of kids, man. These are grown men. These are grown men acting silly and trying to make mockery. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you know, I always wanted to ask them like, yo, that's your way of trying to invite people to Islam, but perhaps, you know what? I mean, invite people to Christianity. But perhaps I begin to see that some of these people, it doesn't seem like they're even interested in inviting to Christianity. It's all about just trying to mock Islam. You know what I mean? It's like, because I would let them know, it's like, look, that's not gonna make, you know, if I would, you know, I mean, we're Muslims, so that wouldn't make me accept to come to Christianity. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't make me want to become a Christian. If you're a Muslim, you're making a mockery. How's that trying to invite people to leave Islam and to come to Christianity? You know what I'm saying? Is that the name? That's the name of the brother. It's Tisham Gulam. He's the one who did the refutation of their silly series. Okay, yeah, I know him. I'm familiar with the brother. Okay, I have to check that out and see what he did. But I mean, yeah, like I said, man, it was just very childish, man. It's very, very childish, very immature, and like I said, these guys are grown men. You know what I mean? These are grown men. So even their own fellow Christian brother James White had to call them out on that. So that's what it seems like it is. Yeah, it's like, you know, clearly you're not trying to invite people, because I would tell them, it's like, look, let's say that I was to come leave Islam because of their videos. I wouldn't want to hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be their friends, right? I wouldn't want to be their friends after making some videos like that. If I left Islam, I wouldn't want to come to their church or be friends with them, because I mean, it's straight mockery, straight disrespect, rude. You know, that's not no welcoming invitation. You know. But you know, like I said, me and the brother, we're gonna talk about a lot of this stuff, and you know, cause we talk behind the scenes, but we're gonna talk about a lot of that, and to see that it seems that the issue is not even, you know, it's not even really to invite to Christianity. It's just to, you know, spread bigotry and hatred against Islam and Muslims, and because that's the audience that they're catering to. You know what I mean? The audience that they're catering to is not interested really in hearing them preach about Christianity. They just want to hear the conflict. They want to hear the drama. They want to see the bigotry. They want to hear the racism and hatred against Islam and against Muslims. So they're not even really interested. You know what I mean? They're not even really interested in inviting to Christianity at this point. Their audience doesn't even want to hear that. Their audience wants to just hear the bigotry. They feed off of the hatred and the bigotry against Islam and Muslims. So inviting to Christianity is become, you know, void. You know what I mean? It's null and void. They're not even interested in that, clearly. The people who are supporting them and giving them their money, you know, they don't want to hear about Christianity. They want to see the attacks on Islam and Muslims, you know. So that's basically what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Yeah, inshallah, we'll talk all about that too. Once again, you want to join my Patreon, that's the link. That's the link to join the Patreon. Like I said, we're looking for 3 more people. I need 3 more people to get my goal of 10, my new goal of 10. All right. Let me see what's going on. Is there any problems? Let's see here. Let me check. Let's see. All right, we are connected, right? Yeah. Let me check something, make sure that Things all right on the brother's end. All right. All right, yeah, everything looks good. So, like I said, we're just waiting for the brother to join in. Waiting for the brother to join on in. Have you guys seen the Have you guys seen the new? I haven't seen it myself, but I'm gonna check it out. Have you guys seen the video with David Wood and what's that imam? The fake imam from Australia, Tawhidi. Have you guys seen? Have you guys watched that? Yeah, I mean, technically, it's not, the Islamophobia is not supposed to be racist, right? That's what they claim because it's supposed to just be the attack on the religion, right? However, as I've demonstrated in many of my previous shows, there's definitely racism and bigotry involved because, like I said, when you hear them making claims about Muslims, rather than criticizing the religion itself, you know, when you hear them talking about the immigration, that involves racism, right? Because if your issue is just a religion, then it's just a religion. But when they start talking about, oh, Muslims are immigrating, that involves racism, right? That's a segment of racism because now you're saying, oh, you don't want these type of people to immigrate to your country. When they start making claims about, like that one video I talked about before, what they call it, that video demographics, right? Where they're talking about how Muslims are having, so many children, and Muslims are going to overtake, Europe and all that stuff like that. Well, that has nothing to do with religion. That's racism. So racism is involved, right? Racism is definitely involved in their attacks against Islam. So technically, Islamophobia is not supposed to be, racism. It's supposed to be just the hatred or the attack on the religion. However, like I said, when you hear those little key words about immigration, and they talking about the demographics, and they start adding in, civilization, these little things like this is letting you know that it's more than just religion. There's definitely racism involved. You know what I mean? There's definitely racism involved. Wa alaikum salam, brother Shazad Ali. Welcome. Welcome to the other Council of Small Ears. All right. Well, technically, yeah, but also an imam is the leader. Is also the leader of the community in many cases. So yeah, on a small level, an imam could just be the person that leads the prayer. On a higher level, the imam leads the prayer, but he's also the head of the community, right? He's also the one who is the head of the community, of a Muslim community, the head of a masjid. All right, sounds like the brother is joined. Sounds like the brother's here. That you, brother Akil?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Yes, good.
Alhamdulillah. How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
My apologies, brother, for being late, man. Just
Got a little bit of a break up there. You're cutting up a little bit. Try again.
being late. I had some running to do for some preparation.
having a little problem with the audio. It's like you're coming in and out. Clear for a few seconds, then you're in and out. All right, we got you back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sounds good. That sounds good.
So I hope the reception is good. If not, I had to switch to another device. But am I coming in okay?
Okay, yeah, that sounds better. That sounds better.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, good, good. All right. So I already told everybody that you were coming, inshallah, and gave everybody the update on what we would be talking about. So let's get right into it. Alhamdulillah, everybody. The brother, as you hear, he has joined us. So let's get right into the subject. So, let's see. I guess let's talk about the issue with you and David Wood. Give everybody a little background on how the issues came about between you and David Wood.
All right. So Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulullah. This, as I mentioned in the last interview with the brother Mustafa Ahmed, and I'm actually going to be doing a little short series on highlighting and detailing the history between me and David Wood and exposing his deceit from the time, with the exception of our encounters.
Okay.
But it began in about 2014. Can you hear me well, inshallah?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So, in 2014, I seen a video. I was watching something on the Quran, and underneath it, I seen this guy's face in a video about the Quran. So it struck me by surprise that the face really didn't match the topic. So I looked at it, and I seen a video of him on the ABN show with the most distraught and like just unacceptable conclusions that you can come up with. I mean, he had no idea what he was talking about, and it was clear, but anyway, he was going forward. So I watched another video. I thought maybe it's like a one-time thing, and I realized that this guy had a channel and a following and was, making mockery of Islam, and I committed to refuting him. So at that point, I opened up my channel, Radush Shubuhaat, in which I vowed to refute him, expose him, and show people really that this guy knows nothing about Islam and should not be taken serious. So I began to reach out to him and trying to get in contact with him, posting on his channels, asking for debate. I did end up talking to him, getting through to him through email, and he responded back. So there was a series of emails between me and him, extensive emails discussing my differences with him and my quarrels with him. And he expressed a willingness to debate, but also was taken aback that I questioned him and called him a liar. So we went back and forth with some emails, which we're going to bring out in our series. And I decided to write a refutation to him on one of the biggest lies that he was promoting at that time, which was his idea called thayin, or mufakhata, which is like because of supposedly the accusation as it goes, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, with Aisha, because she was so young, there could not be any physical interaction between them. He would do something else. And this is a complete lie and fabrication. And I wrote a 4-page refutation against him on this and sent to him directly. From that point on, it was clear he was avoiding me. He didn't respond back, follow up on any debate topics that he was responded to me in the first place, agreeing to do. And then when I started posting on this channel, I got blocked on his YouTube channel. I started to call into the ABN network, which he was on, and he had a problem with that. And he called me a stalker and telling people he didn't want to talk to me. And I find it ironic that you challenge Muslims, you call on Muslims to come answer your attacks against Islam, and here it is, I'm answering them, and I'm challenging you, and I refuted you, and yet now you're avoiding me, you're blocking me, you don't want to confront me on any issue that you discuss against Islam.
Right.
So, just make series against him and expose him and refute him through videos because backfire him until
Oh, we're getting a little breakup. Starting to break up a little bit. Still there? See, a little bit of technical difficulties. I think we lost the brother. Let's see. Did we lose him? Assalamu alaikum. Still there? I think the link dropped. All right, just give him a few moments to connect back with us. All right, there you go. He's back. Assalamu alaikum. You back again?
Yeah, sorry for the connection, brother.
Okay.
So to make a long story short, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, so to make a long story short, I met up with him after the debate, and we had some encounters, some exchange of words. I videoed it and I posted on my channel to further expose him. And I challenged him to a debate that night, 2 debates. He picked a topic, anyone he wanted. I pick a topic, anyone I wanted. We agree on it, and we debate him. And I have not heard anything from him, any kind of follow-up, even though he agreed to it, except that he began to make videos against me, posting extras of my videos, calling me a coward, and threatening to how he's going to further expose Islam and go against the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ because of our antics against him. So that's where we are with David Wood, and we want to, put a nail in the coffin. We want to just finally expose him for who he is and what he is. His arguments have been refuted time and time again. Right. So we don't need to busy ourselves with those arguments, but just expose him and show people that he's a charlatan. He's in it for money, and that's basically what he's doing. And once we do that, I think we need to move on and move to better things than keep chasing this guy.
Right, right. So let me ask you. So why do you feel that he is ducking you? Is it because you've already exposed his arguments and they're he can't really respond back to them? So instead of challenging you or taking the challenge, he rather stay behind the scenes where because that's what I noticed with a lot of these people that not just him but with others, that a lot of them because they have such a following and an audience, and their audience looks at them like as if they're superheroes or something like that. And they themselves, they know that the challenge is coming at them, and to avoid being shut down and embarrassed in front of their audience, they'd rather just continue to do lectures by themselves, do speeches, and not debate, and or at least if they debate somebody, they'll debate somebody who who they know won't be able to bring the challenge against them, but they know if they will debate somebody who can actually bring that heat to them, they're gonna lose their position. They won't look good in front of their audience. Is that the reason why you feel that he is basically ducking the debate with you?
I think David Wood, first and foremost, the guy is a performer. So he calls like Muslims who go online and attack him or whatever. He calls them keyboard jihadis. So that's his nickname for the Muslims. So I came up with a nickname for him, and it's called Camera Boy Crusader. And basically what it is that he's a crusader. He's on a crusade against Islam, and he just uses his camera because he's too much of a coward to do anything else. So I think when he feels that maybe someone is not passive and he may have a difficult time with an encounter, I think he's not interested in engaging them. Right. And I think he realized that even with you, because you debated him, I mean, he made the mistake in that. When he sees that someone is not, and he had debate with Muslims, and I don't, like, for instance, I respect the Sheikh Shabir Ali, But I think he sees Shabir as someone that has he's very with edub and very refined.
Right.
And he feel that maybe, you know, saying Shabir Ali won't be aggressive with him and set him straight. But I think someone that he feels that may be the case. He's not interested in being exposed because when people challenge him, he's not a very good quick thinker on his toes. David Wood is a script writer. He's a script reader. And when you challenge him in person up front, he's awful. And this was clearly exposed when he had a debate with Muhammad Hijab, who really wasn't trying to be passive at all. He took the gloves off and just gave it to him raw, you know?
Yeah. I even seen that a lot of even other Christians were saying that his performance in that debate against Brother Hijab was definitely not good.
Yeah, I think from early he was kind of just shell shocked, and it wasn't the environment. David Wood been in environments where Muslims did before. David Wood went with Nabil Qureshi to a Muslim gathering in Michigan and started trouble. So it wasn't like somehow he never been amongst Muslims in the midst. He just realized that he wasn't prepared for the engaging that he wasn't scripted for.
Right.
You know, he's a script reader, and if you don't have a script, then he's awful. You know, just even some of his videos. You watch it when someone asks him a question, he's not very good with answering questions because he don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know, he's ignorant, and he's even more ignorant of his own faith because you never hear the guy talk about Christianity.
Right, yeah, most of the attacks now is against Islam. Now, you brought up something interesting, which brings me to the other part of our discussion that I wanted to address. You brought up where him and Nabil used to go to that Arab festival up in Detroit every year. I don't know if they've been recently. I know Nabil has passed away, but I don't know if David still goes on his own. But I remember some years ago when they first started going to those, to the Arab festival, and it was definitely what I saw clearly looked to be, just a bunch of bigotry, because it was him and Nabil would go. Other groups of Christians, so-called Christians, would go, and they would be coming with, not saying that David himself came with it, but other groups were coming with pig heads, to the festival, and David and I remember seeing some videos where him and Nabil were talking, and the talk wasn't as they claimed, we're just criticizing Islam. It was bigotry. They one video, if I remember correctly, him and Nabil were talking about the Arab festival as if, like racist, like, oh, look at these Arabs here in our country, and they're coming in, and that kind of like takeover talk, like the immigrant takeover talk. The Arabs are coming in, and too many of them. It was that type of talk, and I was like, look at these guys, look at these bigots, man, look at this, you know what I mean? So I wanted to talk to you about that because that's something that I've seen that me and you definitely have in common as well, besides also refuting their arguments, but that we also have recognized and observed that they, in their claims against Islam, display bigotry, sometimes even racism. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's clear, and I'm glad you highlighted that. And it's interesting for the case with Nabil, in his situation back then, because his family are immigrants.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I thought.
So
yeah.
You can tell that the influence of David over Nabil was a very negative one, even to the point where, as Nabil progressed in Christianity, him and David kind of had some space between them two. I don't know to what extent in terms of disagreeing, but Nabil kind of was more on pushing the Christian gospel and speaking and writing and stuff like this. And David Wood all the time is just making videos.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You can see this also in his latest series, which he did in Attacking Islam and the White Prophet. I mean, if people watch his videos, you can see clear racism. He has a focus on white and slaves and all the things that triggers these sour emotions in people, and fear and hate against Islam. And he highlights these things. This is like he goes right after them. And you find the same thing amongst the guy you debated and refuted, Robert Spencer, and his co-partner, that lady Pamela Geller, I think that's her name.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so and I'm gonna make the connection between them and David Wood because they have an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And their agenda is bigotry. There's no doubt about it because the same thing they try to highlight against Islam, the same avenues they want to use to try to detract and disparage Islam, they say nothing about these same things when they happen on their side of the line, on their side of the divide. When Christians are doing it, when white supremacists are doing these things, there's not a peep from them. But yet, let a Muslim, come do this, or even someone, propose as a Muslim, and here they at it again. So it's clear that they realize that it sells, and I don't even think if it's a matter of David being a racist. I don't think David Wood is a racist. David Wood is an opportunist,
Mm-hmm.
and he realized that whatever it takes, whatever opportunity I can have to make money and capitalize on this, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And he's very shrewd and clever in that way. But I don't think that the guy really is a racist. But I think he realized bigotry sells, and he can't help but advance himself in it and make money off it. Because before this, David Wood, I mean, the guy was having a difficult time getting a job. He's a bum. The guy's no work, man. Him or Sam Shimon. Before they were talking about writing books and trying to come out with books, these guys can't write no books. They're too stupid. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just calling it what it is. I mean, they don't have the academic acumen to, to seriously write a critical analysis on anything.
Right.
But bigotry, especially with they would, I think people like Pamela Geller and Robert Spencer are true bigots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they bigots like at the core.
Yeah.
I think David Wood realized bigotry sells, and he's a bigot by profession because it makes him money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a market, for that, and that's the, it's interesting because I see like the way, like we can use Donald Trump as an example, is he did the same thing. Like if you watch Trump in his earlier years, he was hanging out with rappers. He was hanging out with rappers and black celebrities, and he was cool taking pictures, and they were all cool. Matter of fact, he used to be friends with the Clintons. There's pictures of him and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. They were hanging out and all of that. All of a sudden, he's an opportunist the same way. So it's that same example where he realized that, hey, look, if I can get support if I use bigotry. Unfortunately, many in white America and in the Western society, same thing happens in the UK and in Europe and stuff like that, where these bigots seem to get obviously they cater to a large portion of the society that is into that kind of stuff. And so same thing with Trump. He did the same thing. Because like I said, if anybody looks back at Trump, you will see that he was hanging out with rappers, black people. He was hanging out with rappers and black celebrities, and he's cool with them. And he's doing, he's. I even saw one time there was a show with that guy Russell Simmons, right? And Russell Simmons in his show, he called up Donald Trump, and they're talking like buddies and friends. They're like, hey, I'm having a charity. Are you gonna come, Donald? And Donald Trump's like, yeah, I'll be there. And then all of a sudden, Trump comes out running for president, and he's catering to that. So it's that same type of thing that these people realize that there is a segment of our society here in America, but really in Western society in general, that there is this racist mentality, this bigoted mentality where they don't like immigrants and people of color and whatever. And they realize they could cater to that and play on that, and it gets them their support to be president. It gets them their support to get money, and that's what it really comes down to. And it's sad. And you mentioned too about Nabil, which is something that I noticed as well when I first had my encounter with him. When I first met him, is that at the time it was me and brother Sami Zatari, right?
Yes.
We had our debates. And I had always this thing that Christianity, at least Western Christianity, seems to have that underlying racist undertone to it. And even when people of color get into it, it seems to turn them that way as well. And sure enough, when we had our encounters with it was me and Sammy and David and Nabil. And there was when Sammy and Nabil had debate, if you ever watch one of the older debates, there's a part when Nabil makes a mockery of Brother Sammy's, like, his accent, his Middle Eastern accent. He mocks him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was getting upset. Brother Sammy was hitting him with those arguments. So when it was his turn, he got upset and he started to like kind of make like a mocking Arab accent towards Sammy. And I'm like, wow, look at this dude. They talk all this Christian love.
He apologized later, right? He apologized afterwards, right?
Right, he apologized later, but that's only because he got called out. That's because he got called out on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it seems like Western Christianity has that underlying white racist, white supremacist undertones to it, where even if you're a person of color, you get into it, it seems to shape your mind in that way. And there was another incident too where Nabil was, I don't know if he was here in the United States or he was in the UK, but he was doing a video where he was in front of a Muslim bank. There was a Muslim bank. I'm not sure if it was here in the United States or in the UK, but he's doing like a video in front of the Muslim bank. He's standing in front of it, Nabil. And he's using that immigrant stuff, that look, they're gonna take over. Look at this bank right here. And I was like, wow, if you stood in front of a black bank, if you stood in front of a Jewish hospital or a Jewish bank and you said that same thing, people would call you a racist and they would condemn you. But because it was Islam, it's like, it's fair game. But again, that's an example that he's a man of color. Nabil was a man of color. His family is immigrants, and here he is joining Christianity, and he becomes a bigot himself. You know what I'm saying? So you're right, man. There's definitely this bigoted undertone to it, and some of them, they may be true bigots, or they're capitalizing on that to definitely make some money off of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even about Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump maybe is like both. I mean, he's another opportunist, but I think inherently he come from a family. His father, rich, well off. Hate, despise the condition of black people. They less than us. But I think that Donald Trump is affiliated with people who brought him money. Mm-hmm. If you brought him money, then maybe he tolerated you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these guys, saying they were people that he thought he can use. Mm. Like Mike Tyson and all these Don King using, his casinos, all kind of stuff. Right. I mean, but the guy, Donald Trump, if you look at his history, he's notorious for using people. Mm. Mm. And he used black people when it's convenient for him. So, he tolerated them because he can use them. Right. But other than that, he really had no genuine concern or care for them. And it's most obvious now, him being president, right, because his base don't give a damn about, using him using them. They're going to support him. Yeah. And, that's all he's concerned about now, just appealing to his base. So, and it's interesting because when you look at David Wood also, that's what he does. He appeals to his base. If someone watched the comment section and read the comment section from his videos, of those who call themselves Christians, and the venom and the vile language that comes from these people calling themselves Christians, you would think that, man, that you was like in some pirate, group or something. I mean, these people are nasty hate mongers, man. It's amazing, Yeah. And this is his appeal to.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, a lot of times I look at the comment section of those videos and it's like, wow,
they're terrible. They're terrible.
I was like, man, these people call themselves Christians. I was like, wow, man. I even had an incident one time. Check this out, Dad, where it wasn't involving David directly, but I was on Facebook, and it was this Facebook group. It had Christians and Muslims. I think it was run by a Christian though, and yeah, man, the so-called Christians in there. That's why I say so-called. The so-called Christians in there. Man, it was just a bunch of hatred, bunch of vile, and it was so bad that one of my relatives, my cousin, and this is a direct cousin too, a direct cousin of mine, she's a Christian, and she was a part of the group as well. You know what I mean? So, me and her would be in there, we'd be talking or whatever, and with amongst the other people in some of the discussions. And it got so bad with the vile and the hatred against Muslims that my cousin was like, she was like, I'm out of here. She's like, you people are y'all just showing too much hatred. You know what I mean? So she, so she's an example of a true Christian, but she was like, look, this is too much hatred and bigotry here. She was like, I'm out of this group. She left that group. And I told them, I said, look, now you see, I told them, the people in the group, I said, you see, that's my relative now. She's a Christian. She was with y'all at first, but y'all, you caused your own fellow Christian sister to leave because y'all are so full of hatred and bigotry and not, displaying with the so-called example of Christ, that your own Christian sister was like, she had to leave, she had to get up out of there and get away from y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, a lot of these people, you're exactly right, bro. It's they talk that talk, but when they speak, their actions is completely different from the so-called example of Christ.
Nah, the venom, man. The venom, man. I mean, if you could see them, if you could see the face of some people when they leave the comments, man, they probably their veins pop out their head or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people, man, they coming with evil. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the hatred they have, and they don't even know why they hate it.
Yeah.
They don't even know why, other than the nonsense that they hear from these guys, man, like David Wood, these bigots, or
Mm-hmm.
these, proposed bigots, or these professional bigots. They don't even really know.
Yeah.
These Tommy Morrison guys and all kind of stuff over in the UK. And I mean, you ask them, like, what's your problem with Islam? Oh, this, and then you say, none of that stuff is true, man.
Right.
Just look, you know. And I actually got a video queued up, and it's ready to go, man. It's on my laptop, man. But again, I'm traveling, man, so
Yeah.
I have some things to put in motion. But it's about some of the Sahaba and those closest to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu who were black, his son, another. And I mean, these are people who are like most. It said, "I heard your footsteps walking in paradise." I mean, this is a racist man going to give glad tidings to an Ethiopian slave. You know what I'm saying? The glad tidings of paradise for no other reason other than his righteousness. Raised him to the status of being the one calling the whole nation to prayer. So the whole idea of Islam having racism at its root is so far from the truth. But you take a bigot like David Wood, and he'll find verses or ayats or a hadith stating, "Oh, the prophet's skin was white." Oh, this. I mean, this is. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why focus on that though? Because people love it.
Right.
I call David Wood the Jerry Springer of apologetics.
Yeah. But you're right.
Anybody who knows Jerry Springer know like just how low and benign a show and content this guy had. This is David Wood. David Wood is the Jerry Springer of apologetics, religious apologetics.
Yeah. Now you touched on something too that I see some of the people in the comments are saying is that how a lot of the hatred and bigotry that they spread, and and it's like you said, the stuff is not even true, but how it influences like some of these incidents that we've heard. Some of these people who write these manifestos who shoot up masjids or attack Muslims, a lot of these people refer to Robert Spencer. I'm not sure if they were ever one of them ever referenced David Wood work, but I know they do reference a lot of these people. They reference Robert Spencer's works. And various other anti-Islamists who they reference in their works as their motivation, or their inspiration for, for doing what they do to it when they attack Muslims or when they shoot up a masjid. What are some of your thoughts about that?
It's true, and it's unfortunate, and they won't ever take responsibility for it. They won't take responsibility for that. They're pushing an agenda that's instilling a hatred against people that otherwise people would never, felt the need or the urge to go out and express this in such a way. But when you hear the same thing on the other side, oh, they're so quick to attribute it to something that happened, say Islam, or something that they read in the Quran, or something like this, and they take non-contextual verses and try to highlight them to be, like the marching orders or the standards of what Islam is based upon, which takes us to another topic quickly. Let me just highlight it or mention it, and then we can get back to this one about these actions triggering people hate against Islam. Right. But I want to do, and we talked about this before, and maybe we can do it together, but we can actually bring out like war cries or the wartime edicts of famous American or Western generals and military leaders, and their incitement of violence and courage and chivalry against the enemy. But yet, when they read the same type of language that's used in Islam for the generals to incite the Muslims to be brave and courageous in the face of the enemy that's attacking them, then oh, look how Islam encourages fighting and violence and war and killing. Well, I mean, what do you expect to hear when you have a general trying to incite his followers or incite his army to prepare for an army that's coming to kill you?
Right.
What are you supposed to tell them? You know, go pick out roses and hand them roses and flowers when they come with their swords to cut your head off. You
Right.
know, I mean, so
Exactly.
what do you expect to hear other than, you know, encouraging them to be brave and courageous and face the enemy and fight them strongly when you meet them?
Right.
You know, but yes, I think a lot of these things are these words and this pushing of this anti-Islamic Islamist hate, and it's come and take over you, and it's stirring fear amongst the people. Is that, well, we better get them before they get us. I mean, that's kind of you're giving like these people a moral ultimatum. Like if you don't prepare for these Muslims, they're gonna come kill you.
Right.
And now it's like, well, if that's the case, then I might as well go get ready to kill them, because I ain't gonna sit here and let these immigrant, raghead, black or brown or desert or whatever nickname they, you know, a negative nickname they want to give to the Muslims. We better get them before they get us. That's the mentality of a lot of these folks now, and it's driven by the rhetoric of Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller and the antics of this clown David Wood and, you know, his associates. Yeah, and I think that they should be held accountable for these kind of actions. It should go back to them, and they should be responsible for it.
Definitely, yeah. Because like I said, these people, they in the manifesto, they mention these people by name and who they, you know, who influenced them. What do you have you seen that series that he did a while ago with some of his associates, Vocab Malone? I debated Vocab Malone one time as well, but you know, they did that series. What's it called? Islamicize Me or whatever. What'd you think of it? To me, I thought, I'm gonna just give my opinion. I thought it was very immature. I was like, these guys are grown men, and they're making videos like you know, like they're high school kids trying to like mock and make mockery and tease, and I was like, come on, man, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, it was just like, wow. That's all I could say. I have no words for it. It was just so immature and silly and disrespectful at that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were trying to come with an academic argument. They're doing little skits and everything, and so when I was gonna do a refutation of it. When I saw it, I was like, man, these guys are acting like kids. I can't even take it seriously, you know, because it was so immature and so silly and so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts? What was your thoughts about that if you saw it?
Yeah, I watched it, and I mean, I don't watch everything David Wood puts out there, because some of it's just a waste.
Yeah.
But I watch it because maybe I had to refute it, or maybe somebody sent me something to ask me to refute it.
Right.
I mean, I get a lot of requests from people asking me, can I look at this? Can I refute this? So, you know, I have to watch this stuff, you know, and poor me, man. But, you know, it's not fun watching some of this stuff, man. But in order to refute it, because that's what we do, yeah, we got to watch it, dissect it, expose it. But this series, when I seen this, I said, you know something, I can't go down that lizard hole. I mean, you know, to come out and even, you know, prepare a refutation against it is a waste. And it's interesting because it's not the first time. I mean, Allah in the Quran mentions to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu that Allah is sufficient for you against those who are called mustahzi'un.
True.
And brother, again, man, this video, I made a video dealing with this when he first came out with this. And this is why I made the video for the Muslims to flag his channel. You know, just flag his channel, man, you know? Right. And another one he made after that. But also when the thing happened in New Zealand. So at that point, I was just traveling. And I didn't get a chance to finish the part about New Zealand, so I didn't post the video. But the video was like ready to be posted on YouTube, in which I, you know, just gave the Muslims some advice. Like Allah tells the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, the people were mocking him. They were mocking the Muslims. We see this in the Quran. It's not new. Right. So Allah said that indeed, Allah is sufficient. We are sufficient for you against those who mock you. And I'm telling you, I believe this wholeheartedly.
True.
We're going to see David Wood get exposed in the most, like, you know, I want to say
humiliating way,
majestic way. And I say majestic in relation to Allah because Allah is going to expose this guy. And he's already exposing them. But we have to see it for what it is. Right. You know, we have to have enough insight to see that the guy is really going overboard. He's unstable. and he's going to tip the scale, and he's going to come down crashing very hard, man. But it's not for us to respond back in the same way,
Right.
because one, that's not our way. It's not our character. Call
Right.
it for what it is. Call them out, expose them, but we don't go back and mock to such a degree where we, disrespecting any of the prophets of God, and we can because they're part of our faith.
Right.
So when it comes to people like David Wood, the Muslims kind of got like one hand tied behind our back, because we can't come at you the same way you come at us.
Mm-hmm.
We can't come with insults and profanity and mocking, great prophets of God that came before, the way you mocked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Right. Right.
So but we don't need to, because that's not our way.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna demonstrate that in another series that's ready to go. Also, is which I have one called titled the Latin Nubuwa, which is the proofs of prophethood.
Mm-hmm.
And where I'm going to just show through 3 phases of the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam how it's clear that he was a prophet, from the time before he was a prophet, from his birth up until the message first reached him, during his prophethood, so from the time of 40 up until his life was concluded, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and after his prophethood, from the time of his death up until today, how even today we see the signs of his prophethood evident and his message. So I'm going to be, bringing this as well, and giving the Muslims some motivation and some type of dignity for their belief. And it's not like what these people attempt to try to throw on him and smear him with these lies and these fabrications. One of the things that amazed me the most about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his devotion.
Right.
You can't bring me not a single individual in history that his devotion to God was even close to that of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just see his devotion to God, his commitment to God, his trust in God, his reliance upon God, his calling and imploring God, his humbleness before God. Just examine that. And when someone really, examines his life in this respect, they can be anything but amazed. Anything but amazed. Right. So we're gonna, bring these things, but we can't attack them the same way they attack us. And Muslims, we have to be mindful of that. But there's people like Shadi, yourself, and myself, Radush Shubuhaat, our channel, and other people who are trying to bring clarity and refute these lies against Islam. So we have to, as a general body of Muslims, leave it to people who are doing this, but don't be vigilantes.
Right.
Don't go on these channels and post profanity and post all kind of negative content that they're going to use against you to only banter your argument further. Oh, look at these Muslim death threats. Oh, look at this.
Right. Yeah.
We do more disservice to the da'wah and to the attempts that we're trying to do than any good by doing that. We encourage our Muslim brothers and sisters to stay away from that, even though what they say hurt us. And again, Allah mentions in the Quran, Allah says that indeed you will hear much harm from those of the people of the book.
Right.
That's a verse in the Quran, verbatim, in English.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, verbatim translation. But Allah says that indeed you will hear much that will cause you harm, that will grieve you. From who? From the people of the book that came before you.
Yeah, true. That's right. Allah does say that.
So Allah tells us that they're going to say things against us, man. It's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt even more because, like, how could it come from them? They believe in God too. How could they say something like this? How could they behave like this? How could they act like this? They do it.
What have you had any refutations against them, or do you plan to make some refutations against them?
Well, apostate prophet, no. I just learned of him recently. So I don't know much about him, but I'm hearing about him. So maybe look into him too.
I did two videos so far refuting some of his stuff already. So inshallah, you get a chance to check him out. You get to see his argument. But I've done 2 refutations with him. Getting ready. I've debated Christian Prince before, but it was on Pal Talk. It was on that program called Pal Talk. I debated him. But he's horrible at debates, man. He's really like, he doesn't know how to like focus on the subject. He goes all over the place, But his debate skills very poor, and his arguments are quite silly at that. I'm preparing something new to deal with him also. I got a new argument that I saw one of his videos that I was gonna deal with. But what about Christian Prince? Yeah, have you had any run-ins with him?
So Christian Prince also early on, I made several videos against Christian Prince, even very older videos, and exposing him, his lies, his mistakes, his mistakes in Arabic.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. No, subhanAllah, but that's funny that you mentioned that, because yes, there was a time when I debated him on Pal Talk, and he thought he was going to try to run that, run the little Arabic thing on me, right? So he recited something, and I don't speak Arabic fluently, but I know enough to to get me by, or to at least understand when I need to look up in the Arabic to English dictionary. You know what I'm saying? So I can get by. You know what I mean? You won't be able to fully pull the wool over my eyes, as they say. And yes, I did the same thing. Me, Mr. Islam, English speaking first language, very little Arabic, but I knew enough to expose him and called him out on his poor recitation of the Arabic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he gets over on his crowd, because these people, of course, they don't know no better. They're a bunch of white Americans or white people from the UK who have no clue about Arabic, so they think because he speaks a little Arabic, has a little accent, that he must know what he's talking about. But yes, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I did the same thing. I exposed him, caught him out there. He tried to recite a verse, and I was like, yeah, you pronounced that wrong. That's not how you say that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, very interesting.
Well, yeah. That's two things when it comes to Arabic, because first, the Quran is not like local, colloquial Arabic.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I live in a Muslim country, so I speak with people, and I encounter people who speak colloquial, like street Arabic. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to them, because my studies was called Fusha. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that I'm some master Arabic. I have a long way to go, and I'm still a student of Arabic. But even when I encounter them and talk to them in Fusha, sometimes they're looking at me like it's a whole other language to them. So Christian Prince, depending on his level of education, I mean, obviously the guy reads Arabic books. Okay, give him a credit for that. He speaks Arabic, but he speaks colloquial Arabic.
Right.
And that's not anything when you approach the Quran. That's like somebody speaking Ebonics and then trying to go translate Shakespeare.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think the Arabic, they call it, don't they call it Ammi Arabic, right? It's like Ammi, like it's like
Ammiya.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So different places have different names for, but yeah. But I also had a debate with him, and I mean, I got several videos. I got maybe 8, 9 videos exposing Christian Prince, exposing his mistakes, exposing historically. I got a video where he confused Idul Adha with Idul Fitr. I mean, it's like just because the guy is a fool, man, really. And he say the first thing comes to his mind, and everything to him is, oh, it don't make sense. Mm-hmm. If you want me to accept your claim that Islam is false or wrong because it don't make sense to you, man, somehow you the standard for sense.
Right.
I mean, he's one of the stupidest people, man, that is on the scene. But I had a debate with him, and it was a long time coming, because I used to call him out and tell him, and he, after some time, his audience said, "Listen, man, the guy is calling you out, he challenge you." I said, "But listen, let's debate formally, because I don't go on Pal Talk. I never debate on Pal Talk. I never went on there." But I said, listen, we'll debate on another platform in which you have like a formal debate. You have 5 minutes, I have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, like this,
right.
So for his audience sake, he agreed. But when he got to the debate, he completely went against what we were supposed to do. Yeah. And it was 2 debates. The first one was on the deity of Jesus, and the second one was his topic. And he said, my topic is Islam. He wanted to talk about Islam. The first debate was, I mean, it was awful for him. It was awful for him. But because the guy does not have he don't know how to follow instructions, it's very difficult to have anything civil with him, because he's a very uncivil individual.
Yeah. That's exactly the same issue I had with him when I debated on Pal. I did the same thing. Yeah, and it was we tried to get it formal, because right, His style is he likes to have like this thing where he's in control, and you know
Yeah.
it's like he's questioning you and you going back and forth. I was like, no. I want a formal debate where we had a time limit. And right, we did the same. That's why I told you he couldn't stick to the topic. We had the time limit and everything. We had a subject picked out. He couldn't stick to the topic. He's all over the place. Yeah, he doesn't know how to do a professional debate, and so that's why. And I have a video on my channel where I challenged him. This was years ago because he put out a video claiming that he wanted to challenge somebody. So I was like, man, I already debated you, but I put out a video. I said, look, I challenged you, but now it has to be a formal debate, but it has to be in person. There's not going to be this radio show stuff where I call in and you cut me off or we're on Pal Talk. No, if we're going to do it, it has to be a real debate in person with with a moderator and all of that, where there's nowhere for you to run. You can't run, you can't hide. There's not going to be cutting off the mics and dotting people or whatever, But he never agreed to it. But if you do it, that's how you got to do it with him. Don't do it on his show. Do it on a neutral platform. Make sure there's a moderator, a time limit, so that way everybody will see that he does not know how to hold an actual formal, proper debate.
No, he can't. He can't. He's very uncivil. And I realized that I thought that having another setting, would be we would agree to it. It was supposed to be on Skype or something like this. But he ended up, having it on Skype. He ended up changing so many of his accounts, and I mean it was weird, man, because you could see that he was trying to wiggle out and hide, from just in case it wasn't very favorable for him. He went on automatically. I couldn't even post it. He put it on another account. So these guys, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. That's the thing, bro. They have to uphold, like I told you, they have to uphold this kind of image to their fans, like as if they're superheroes. And if they get into a situation where they run into trouble, they know that's going to hurt them. That's going to hurt their fan base. That's going to hurt their support. You see what I'm saying? So this is why they like to try to do it in a situation where they have the control. But that's why I already peep game. That's what I've been telling these people too, the brothers and sisters, that it's more than just the information. When you debate them or whatever, it's more than just the information. You got to know. You got to strategize. You got to know how to handle them. You got to know how to speak, firmly and strongly. You got to know how to handle it, because it's more than just the information that you give off. You got to be able to have the whole it comes with everything, you know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I noticed, that even the battlefield, in this sense of where you have it. And I noticed that on his channel, that's what he likes to do. He likes to have people call into his show. So I'm like, no, I'm taking you out of your element. It's going to be either on my show or a neutral platform where you have no control whatsoever, and then we're going to see how you perform. And I already know he can't perform well in an environment like that.
I think the best way to deal with him really is just take his content and just expose it and show his ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got several videos, again, him making mistakes linguistically, him making mistakes historically. And then the guy write books, which he can't even speak English correctly, and he's writing books in English. But this is the arrogance. This is like, I got something to say, and I'm gonna say it. Like, you don't have the ability to think critically, man. You know what I'm saying? And sit and write something that's coherent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has like several books that he has selling on Amazon and everything, and I'm like, these guys are something else, man.
He's a clown. He's a clown, man.
Yeah. Nope. So yeah, man. So those are some of the people, out there, like I mentioned. And like I said, I've done some refutations on Apostate Prophet. He's another one. They seem, he's like their big shot guy. I read some of the comments, and they seem to think he's the big shot. But his argument's saying like the rest of them. They're very weak. They take stuff out of context. They ignore the context. Many times their mistakes, they ignore verses that come right before or right after the verse that will explain in detail what the situation is and refute what they're making the claim about. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely a lot of work to do. A lot of these people are out there. But inshallah, yeah, we got our work cut out.
I mean, like, for instance, with Christian Prince, I got a video in which I exposed him, which he talks about there was a war that occurred in which President Muhammad killed over 200 people in the war. Something like this, right?
Say it again. Your sound was a little bit muffled.
About it was definitely a long period of time after the advent of Prophet Muhammad. Yet in the video, clearly He's saying the Prophet Muhammad killed as many people in this war. I mean, it's like just he made a lie against this word, which is comes out in his debate with David Wood and Muhammad Hijab about the word salat. What does it mean, and does Allah pray in this?
Hell yeah.
And all I did, man, this is where I was just starting, and my video making was worse than it is now. Like, I'm not very media savvy. Like, I don't know how to make the videos correctly. I have a brother, man. Allah preserve him. Young brother behind the scenes. His name is Yahya. His brother does all my editing, all of the video content, all of the graphics and everything. I produce it and he take it and make it, what it is. So Allah, bless his brother. But this is when I was recording from a camera, a TV screen, a computer screen, just to make the video because I was, eager to refute these guys. But I just highlighted, for instance, the dictionary, Lane's lexicon, different Arabic dictionaries, just showing these guys, man, like, the ignorance, man, and they don't care about the truth. For them, it's not about the truth. It's just about, man, promoting their lives and getting revenue,
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
So Christian Prince, David Wood, I had one video against this guy, Bill Warner. I did one video against him and challenged him to a debate. But again, a lot of them, they're not interested, other than just having their own platform behind their own screen, having their control and trying to dictate how the conversation gonna go.
Right.
Like Christian Prince and others in that forum, or the camera boy Crusader, making his videos behind the screen, coming out with a KKK hoodie on and making. I mean, this is these people, man, big clowns, man.
What happened with this guy, Bill Warner? Did he accept your debate or no?
Who was that?
Bill Warner. Did he accept it or no? Your challenge?
No, he never responded to it. He never responded at all, and he won't.
Yeah, and I noticed that. Like I said,
all you do is just spitting out.
Yeah, like I said, I noticed that about a lot of these people. They know their arguments won't stand up to a real challenge, and they don't want to look bad in front of their supporters because those are people that's giving them their money, and if they see that their man gets beat, verbally, academically defeated, that's gonna make them look bad, and they don't want that. You know what I mean? They don't want that. Like for me, when I debated Robert Spencer, like he used to brag when I first saw it. When I first found out about Robert Spencer, I used to see him bragging about that he had debates with Muslims and stuff like that, and imams and all that. And I would look, I was like, wait, I want to see. And I would look there, and I couldn't find anything, brother. I don't know who. To this day, I still couldn't find any of the debates that he claimed in his early years that he debated these people. Maybe he meant in writing or on social media or not, not a real debate. But I couldn't find anything. And then when he did start having debates, it was against other people who weren't Muslim. He had a debate with what's that guy's name? Was it Dinesh D'Souza? And I was like, yo, he's not even Muslim. He debated some other guy. He was debating people who weren't even Muslims, but who were trying to defend the Muslim position. I'm like, yo, these people are not even Muslim. And then finally, I had my debate against him. I was, man, subhanAllah, man, that was the answer to my dua. Because I made dua for that. And sure enough, man, Allah answered that. I got a call one day from the Catholic, what's it called, the Catholic Conference or whatever. And they set up the debate, and I was like, subhanAllah, man, that was, because the chances of getting a debate with him was like, how would I get that? It was definitely by Allah, man. And I noticed that after my debate, man, that debate was so good because, he got exposed. I loved it because I exposed many of his arguments, exposed parts where like there was one I think he mentioned Surah 489 or something like that, and he mentioned that one verse by itself, but he left off the verse right after. It was the very next verse that says that except for your people who are not trying to fight you or something of that sort, right? So I exposed it to the audience that I was like, see, look, this is what he's doing. He's giving you that one verse, but he's ignoring the context. He's knowing the next verse makes it clear that verse is only referring to those who left Islam and began to fight the Muslims. The next verse clearly says, except for those who, joined the people who, and their hearts are shrinking from wanting to fight you. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is what he's doing to you people. He's giving, he's misinforming you. You know what I'm saying? And there were other incidents where he got exposed and embarrassed in that debate. And then I noticed that after that, he hasn't had, at least as far as I've seen, he hasn't had any more debates with any Muslims after that. He just does the lectures by himself. He does speaking engagements, but he's by himself now. I haven't seen him had any debates after that. But again, that's what I've realized about them, is that they don't really want to have any formidable challengers, because that's going to mess up, as we say in the United States in slang, that's going to mess up their bag, meaning that's going to mess up their money. If they go against somebody in public who is a formidable opponent and knows what they're talking about and exposes them, refutes them, then that's going to mess up the way they look to their audience, to the people who think that they're superheroes and that they supposedly have the truth of it against Islam. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we just got to stay on our jobs. You know what I'm saying? Stay on our jobs and continue to do that work in fi sabilillah, inshallah.
No, for sure. Alhamdulillah, man. I mean, this is what we need, man. And alhamdulillah, brother, I'm at your service, man. Whenever I'm available, man. I'm here with you, inshallah. And I appreciate the invitation and opportunity. And I'll tell you something funny, and I'll tell your audience, too. For a long time, I've been trying to get in contact with Brother Shadi. So I've been sending messages and reaching out. But alhamdulillah, I think what happened is that some of the brothers that frequent my page also frequent yours, and they begin to kind of push us, together. So alhamdulillah, Allah reward those brothers behind the scenes who introduce us to each other.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, a while back, some brothers were mentioned. They was like, you should check this brother Akil out. And I was like, all right, I kept saying that. I was gonna do it too, but I just kept procrastinating and stuff. But they was like, check out this brother Akil. You should check him out. You guys should work together. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna definitely check him out. You know what I'm saying? So, but mashallah, we finally was able to hook up. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard about you, but I just
not really good about it. Inshallah, man. As much as possible. When I get back, man, we can do other things, man. Join in, and I mean, let's set something up for. I really want to do, I want to do it with you, because I think that really together we can really bring this point and do a good piece on it. But that's the one where we highlight the wartime cries.
Okay, that sounds good.
The wartime edicts, of Western prominent general, admirals, army leaders, presidents, whoever, when they were commanding, their soldiers, at the time of war. And I mean, interestingly enough, today is Memorial Day.
Right.
Now, there is where they honor the fallen soldiers, but I mean, they can honor their heroes, as they call them. They can honor the ones that they went out and fought and killed people in the name of their democracy, in the name of their ideology. But how dare Muslims who have a history, think to honor those who went out and fought in our cause to try to establish, peace and justice and rid oppression from the earth,
Right.
So, the irony of that should be obviously enough to people who have an eye. But I mean, let's set something up. Let's do that, inshallah. Let's bring some nice historical quotes from both the Islamic history as well as the Western history, and let's see, what we have and why the double standard exists against the Muslims.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's in the future shows we'll do an actual like a more formal topic where we present a refutation, but it's like a tag team type of refutation where we're both presenting the arguments. Inshallah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Also, I mean, even I think that's the idea. I was just thinking, if you want to make a series, because people like when we have a series, but we can make a series just title the series itself something along the lines of the hypocrisy, like what you bring against us, we can refute it, but let's see you refute it when we bring the same thing against you. You want.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's bring a series where we can take your arguments and refute it. But what's the case when we bring the same argument against you from your books, your teachings?
Yeah, yeah.
You want to talk about violence in the Quran?
I don't know
Okay.
if I just did a short series similar to that. It's called my last few videos. It was called the hypocrisy of Christians and Jews when attacking Islam, where I talked about some of those issues. But yeah, we can do a tag team on topic about that as well, inshallah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so then inshallah, let's set it up, man. So 7:30, we're getting ready to break our fast on this side of town, inshallah, man. Alhamdulillah, Allah bless you in your fasting.
All right, brother.
We hope that the audience, man, alhamdulillah, enjoyed it. We just sharing some thoughts now. Nothing really formal, but alhamdulillah, we just wanted to sit together, me and Shadid, and introduce ourselves together to the audience. I'm gonna take this video, inshallah, and put it on my channel.
Yes, yes.
And he gonna put it his, and we start networking together, working together to get greater acknowledgement from the people and support.
Right.
And inshallah, Allah give us success in our endeavors.
Ameen.
And bless us to be soldiers for Islam in every sense of the way. Right now, our efforts are in the medium of social media, bringing the truth to falsehood and exposing them. So, alhamdulillah, this is where Allah put us at, and we ask Allah to make us effective in it. But inshallah, alhamdulillah, this is the first of many. And well, like I said, I'm at your service whenever I'm available and I have time. Whatever you need from me, I'm here for you, inshallah.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Before you go, I just want to let the audience know and let you know, I finally spoke to brother C.L. Edwards in person. I finally got, well, not in person, but over the phone. And I got to confirm that it is true. It was him, and yes, he has returned back to Islam. So alhamdulillah, finally. I told him.
Actually, I'm in contact with C.L. Edwards. We actually supposed to be doing something together too, as well.
Yeah,
I told him that
he did mention
we need to put something together because many people are asking, they're not sure. But I had a debate with him. I went actually out to Michigan and debated him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had debated him a couple of times too.
So he after some time, he contacted me and told me that he came back to Islam, alhamdulillah, and so he said he just needs some time to work things out and deal with some stuff. But inshallah, we did agree to do something, and he's for it, alhamdulillah, and he's open now, and he's alhamdulillah, man. I know him personally. I met his family, and I spent some time with him, and everybody has their journey, and they have their moments in life where Allah gives them more opening than other times. So alhamdulillah, we pray for that Allah make him firm and make him as formidable as a Muslim against the people against Islam as he was before. And alhamdulillah, man, maybe we can actually have all of us on the show together and open something up, man, and begin to attack, because he knows a lot about these guys too, because he know behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah, he told me a little stuff yesterday when I spoke to him. Yeah, he gave me some info.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he has information that he see it. He began to see it for what it was.
Yeah. And
so something, man, it's not really what I thought it was, man. And this lies they put out against Islam is not really like that, man.
Yeah.
And the more people really study, because he went through a Christian school, like a seminary, and more people, learn more about Christianity, especially if they really have sense.
Right.
They can't stay.
That's what happened with Bart Ehrman.
They can't, because their conscience won't allow them, man, to be hypocrites for the rest of their lives.
That's what happened with Bart Ehrman. That's why I respect Bart Ehrman so much, because he was a sincere guy. He started, he was trying to learn so he could teach Christianity more. And then he started getting taught all this stuff, and he had to be honest with himself and realize that, this ain't what I believed it to be. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, many of them, brother, many of them, man. So, we, inshallah, Allah will expose them, man. Allah will expose them, man. But we as Muslims, man, we have to also, take the means Allah gives us, man, and strategize and be better prepared to deal with these attacks and what happens. And inshallah, also, and I encourage you brothers and sisters out there, for the brother, because I see the efforts, his work takes effort. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes resources. And although we don't do this for financial gain, but if we have that assistance, it helps, to put us in the best situation to give you more of what, you need in defending Islam.
Right.
Because when we take away from time of making money for our daily lives to commit to doing videos and series and stuff, then, the compensation, it needs to be there to make things easy for us as well, so making videos against anything or defending Islam is not our full-time occupation. Like myself, I'm late because I have a job. I'm a contractor, and I told the brother I'm gonna be a little bit late. I got to prepare for a job tomorrow. My apologies, but this is what we do to take care of our families and stuff. And our passion in the Deen, is service, it's khidmah. For the Muslims.
Right.
It's fi sabilillah. But when we do take off from work and do things, to promote the facts against the attacks against Islam, then it's only right that the supporters who appreciate our work support, in the best way you can. And one thing I say is one of the best ways to support is to share the material, subscribe and introduce people to it so that the view count and the subscriptions count is up, so we can combat these people when we need to on a level. But also the financial support is also a plus in helping us. Like myself, I gotta buy a new web camera. My media guy told me that it makes it better because when I do live streaming, it's not good. So we want to produce quality material. So we invested in microphones and cameras and computers and stuff, software to make our content more professional and more engaging and more appealing. But no one pays for that other than us. So supporting us in those regards is a help. And I know Shadi mentioned it to his audience. So brothers, respond to the call, support the brother, inshallah, and help us all, be more effective against the enemies who their supporters are supporting them in an amazing way. So we can't build what they have against them if we're not getting what they're getting, against us. So.
True indeed. I mean, that's right. You could have said it better myself. Inshallah, before you leave, I'm just going to say we have a brother. His name is Sammy 701. And I've spoken to him before, so I actually spoke to him in private on the phone. So I know the brother, good brother. He said he can offer some help, some information with the topic about, the military cries and stuff like that, the military quotes and stuff, So inshallah, we'll plug him in, with the information on that topic when we prepare for that topic, inshallah. All right, brother, still there? He may have gotten disconnected. But all right, brother. Oh, okay, there you go. He's back. Cutting up. You still there?
I'm here. I can hear you now, inshallah.
Okay, yeah. Did you hear? I said I got a brother. His name is Sammy 701.
Sammy.
Yeah. So he says he can help us out. He can, give us some additional information on that to help with that subject about the, the war cries, the military cries of the Western society and stuff like that. How it involved, what we want to talk about, religion and stuff like that. So I'll connect him with us, behind the scenes, inshallah.
I have a group of young brothers, man, that we do apologetics. We used to have meetings and stuff, man, but again, because my travels got intense, it's difficult, man. But alhamdulillah, man, we have some brothers, man, that's out there in the trenches, man, doing some stuff and coming together. So inshallah, Allah blesses. But the brothers are welcome, man. Come help us strategize, give us information that's useful, helpful to expose these people. And we in it for exposing the falsehood.
Right.
We not in it, to create lies and just do it because we want to attack people. That don't do anything for us. All we want to do is defend Islam, show people what true Islam is, and not the lies they attack us with, but also to expose the falsehood. That's our drive. That's our agenda. And you could pay me. I'm going to do the same.
We lost you again, brother.
I pay them. They won't be doing it.
It's cutting up a little bit. Say that again.
So I was saying that whether we make financial gains or no, we're going to continue our ethics because our goal and our passion is the truth.
Exactly. Yep.
But for those whose goal and passion is not the truth, when the funds ain't coming in, they ain't doing much.
Right. Yeah, I still.
And that's what you see on the other side. If David Wood wasn't making the kind of money he make on YouTube and Patreon, he wouldn't keep on doing this.
Right. Yeah.
And again, I mean, the guy never talks about his faith. He never talks about Christianity. Why? Because Christianity